So you're all fired up to plant your garlic, imagining a huge, beautiful harvest that'll last you the whole year. But what if I told you that some simple, common mistakes could leave you with bulbs no bigger than a thumb? It's a sad, frustrating reality for a lot of first-time growers. They do everything they think they're supposed to, only to dig up tiny, disappointing bulbs 9 months later. The good news, every single one of these mistakes is totally preventable. Garlic is one of the easiest and most rewarding things you can grow, but it has a few non-negotiable rules. After years of growing garlic, I've seen every mistake in the book. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 7 most common garlic growing blunders and exactly how to sidestep them, so you can get the biggest, most flavorful garlic you've ever grown, even if it's your first time trying. Let's kick things off with the very first mistake, one that sets us up for failure before we even touch the soil. We can't just grab a bulb from the grocery store and expect amazing results. A lot of that garlic is a soft neck variety that's been treated to stop it from sprouting on the shelf, and it's often a terrible match for colder climates. There are 2 main types of garlic, hardneck and softneck. Hardneck garlic is your best friend if you live in a colder climate. It absolutely needs that cold winter period, a process called vernalization, to form a big, beautiful bulb. Hardnecks give you fewer but much larger cloves, and they also throw in a bonus harvest of garlic scapes in the spring. Cut them off and add them to mashed potatoes. Softneck garlic, on the other hand, is better for milder climates, gives us more cloves per bulb and stores a bit longer. Here's the main takeaway. Buy certified, disease-free seed garlic from a good supplier. It's grown specifically for planting and is chosen for your climate. Planting a big healthy clove from good seed stock is step 1 to harvesting a big healthy bulb. If you start with tiny cloves, you're pretty much guaranteeing a tiny harvest. The second major mistake is getting the timing wrong. I see so many people waiting to plant their garlic in the spring with the rest of their veggies, and that is a recipe for sad, small bulbs. Sure, you might get something, but you'll never see what that garlic was truly capable of. Garlic needs to be planted in the fall. For most of us in the Northern Hemisphere, that means sometime between October and November, about a month before your ground is expected to freeze solid. This timing is absolutely critical. Planting in the fall lets the clove spend all winter developing a powerful root system. All its energy goes into making roots, so when spring finally hits, the plant can just explode with green growth, which is what fuels the development of a massive bulb. Plant too early and we'll get a bunch of green shoots that just get zapped by the harsh winter. Plant too late and the clove won't have time to grow roots before the ground freezes. That fall window is the sweet spot that sets you up for a perfect harvest next summer. This next one might sound almost too simple, but it happens all the time. Planting cloves upside down or way too shallow. A garlic clove has a pointy end and a flat end. The flat, rough part is the bottom where the roots grow, and the pointy end at the top is where the green shoot will emerge. If you plant it upside down, that little shoot will still try to find the sun, but it has to waste a ton of energy doing a U-turn to get to the surface. All that wasted energy should have gone into making a bigger bulb. So just remember the golden rule: pointy side up, flat side down. Just as important is how deep we plant it. Planting too shallow is a huge risk, especially where winters are cold. The constant freezing and thawing of the soil can literally push the cloves right out of the ground, leaving them exposed to the wind and killing them. A good rule of thumb is to plant cloves about 2 to 3 inches deep or 5 to 8 centimeters. But if you're in a colder zone, go a little deeper, say 3 to 4 inches or 8 to 10 centimeters for some extra insulation. Give the plant a head start, not a puzzle to solve. It's so tempting to squeeze as many cloves as you can into a small space, thinking more plants equals more garlic. This is mistake number 4, and it's a classic case of less is more. Garlic absolutely hates competition. When you plant cloves too close together, they're in a constant fight for water, sunlight, and most importantly, nutrients in the soil. This competition directly stunts bulb growth. Remember, that single clove you plant needs to swell into a full bulb that could be 2, 3, or even 4 inches wide. It needs physical space underground to get big. The foolproof spacing for garlic is a 6-inch grid. That's 6 inches apart on all sides or 15 centimeters. This gives every bulb enough personal space to reach its full potential without bumping into its neighbors. I once did an experiment where I planted a whole bulb without separating the cloves just to see what would happen. And what I got was a bunch of tiny, useless little green sprouts. It was the perfect, sad illustration of why spacing is non-negotiable. Give your garlic some elbow room and it'll reward you. Right, if you're having some aha moments and are already sketching out your garlic grid, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It tells me you're finding this useful, and it really helps more gardeners find the channel. Now, let's get back to the mistakes that can happen after you've planted. Because garlic stays in the ground for so long, we're talking up to 9 months, it's incredibly easy to fall into the set it and forget it trap. This is mistake number 5, totally neglecting your crop. First up, mulching. After we've planted in the fall, we cover our garlic bed with a thick 4 to 6 inch layer of light mulch like straw or shredded leaves. This is one of the best things we can do. Mulch insulates the soil from crazy winter temperature swings, holds in moisture, and crucially keeps weeds down. And fall is an ideal time to be using those leaves from your garden as that mulch. Remember from the other video when we prep our beds ready for spring. And that brings us to weed control. Garlic has a shallow root system and is terrible at competing with weeds for nutrients. Keeping that bed weed free, especially in the spring, is a must for big bulbs. A thick layer of mulch does most of the heavy lifting for us. Finally, for hard-necked garlic, you have to cut off the scapes. In early summer, the plant will send up a weird curly flowering stalk called a scape. You remove it. If you let it grow, the plant pours its energy into making a flower instead of a bulb. Snipping off the scape redirects all that energy back down to bulb production, which can make your final bulbs significantly bigger. After waiting 9 long months, it is so easy to get impatient and make mistake number 6, harvesting at the wrong time. Pulling our garlic too early or too late can completely undermine all our hard work. The bulbs can actually double in size during their last month in the ground, so if we pull them too early, we're missing out on a ton of growth. We'll get a perfectly edible but small bulb, but if we wait too long, the paper wrappers around the bulb will start to split open in the ground. This exposes the cloves to soil and moisture, which absolutely tanks their storage life. They'll rot in no time. So how do you know when it's go time? The plant tells you. Look at the leaves. When the bottom half of the leaves have turned yellow and brown, but the top half is still green, that's your sign. That's when the bulb is done growing. Don't wait for the whole plant to die back. A smart move is to dig up 1 or 2 test bulbs to see if they're a good size and the wrappers are tight before you harvest the entire bed. You did it, you followed all the rules and harvested a bed of beautiful big garlic bulbs. Now you face the final and maybe most heartbreaking mistake, messing up the curing and storage. If you botch this last step, your perfect harvest can turn into a pile of mush or sprout in just a couple of months. Curing is just the process of drying the garlic for long-term storage. The biggest mistake here is washing the bulbs or leaving them out in the sun. Do not wash them. The moisture is just an invitation for rot, and direct sunlight can literally cook the bulbs and ruin their flavour. To do it right, just gently brush off the loose dirt, leave the stalks and roots on, and move them to a cool, dry, well-ventilated spot out of direct sun like a garage, a shed, or a covered porch. You can hang them in bundles or lay them out in a single layer on a rack. Let them cure for a good 3 to 4 weeks, or until the outer wrappers are like paper and the necks are totally dry and stiff. For storage, keep your cured garlic in a cool, dark, dry place with good airflow. A mesh bag is perfect, and please do not store it in the fridge. The cold, humid air will tell it to start sprouting. Properly cured soft-neck garlic can last 6 to 8 months, while hardnecks will keep for about 3 to 4. Growing a fantastic crop of garlic really just comes down to sidestepping these 7 key mistakes. It all starts with choosing the right kind of garlic and planting big, healthy cloves. You've got to plant them in the fall to give them that necessary chill period. Make sure you plant them pointy side up, deep enough, and with plenty of personal space, at least 6 inches apart. Don't forget to tuck them in with a heavy layer of mulch after planting. During the growing season, be sure to snip off those scapes on your hard necks. And finally, be patient. Harvest only when the leaves give you the signal and then take your time to cure your bulbs properly in a shady, breezy spot. It might sound like a lot, but these steps quickly become second nature. By following this guide and avoiding these common pitfalls, you're no longer gambling. You're setting yourself up for a pantry full of big, flavorful garlic that will last you all year long. Now that you know how to plant your garlic for a massive harvest, the next critical step is knowing exactly what to look for when you're pulling it from the ground. To help with that, I've got a whole video dedicated to the signs of a perfect harvest, and it's right here. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.